Hello, and welcome back to Josh. No, fucking hell. Hello, Josh and Sam. Welcome back to Pulling Up the Slask. Hi, anyone else who is bothering to follow along with this thing. Now, Josh has just finished his radio show. I am just about to do some Football Manager, but I need to run over what's gone on since we last spoke. So, like usual, I've sort of gone on madly long, not too badly. So this is the end of last season. We'd won our final game, leaving us with a record of 30 points, 22 wins, 4 draws, 4 losses, 74 goals and against 27 goals. So too many goals against. But we ended with 70 points. We were 5 points clear of Polonia Warszawa in the end. So this season, currently we find ourselves... Oh, no, hang on. This season, currently we find ourselves, after 11 games, 4 points behind Lech Poznan, who are having a bit of a stormer. I'm not sure why. That Guedes player who I looked at quite a few episodes ago is sort of starting to come good, so maybe that's part of it. Yeah, so good. We've got to chase them on. We are currently drawing too many games. We're still conceding quite a few goals. We're scoring a bugger load, but it's still conceding too many. We drew against really shit teams as well. I think we drew with, who was it recently, Cracovia. Anyway, I'll show you some transfers before I show you anything else. So we've had yet another bloody season of being absolutely torn to shreds in the transfer market. So last season we lost, as you'll remember, Chiravtsev, Monday, Svenningsson, although he came back, and Kurovsky. And we signed Sasha, Sikorsky, etc., etc. This season we lost Mišković, who was the goalkeeper. If you remember, in the last episode I said I was looking to get a new one because he was not great, so I have done so. Sold him off to Spartak Nalchik. I sold Jakub Jensen because he wasn't getting that much better, wasn't getting any game time with me. Hang on a second, I'm just going to write to you on Facebook. I'm recording now. Cool. Alfonso Gariz went out on loan to Odense Bold Club. We lost Petrovic, the Ljubisa Petrovic, the striker who didn't do much, for £600,000 to Slovan Liberec. We lost Rosław, the goalkeeper, for £240,000 to Espanyol. We lost, Gautier has gone out on loan to Piast, where I believe he's probably doing really well for them, considering, yes he is, he's doing very well for them, annoying. Sasha unfortunately left for £3 million, a bid accepted by our delightful chairman, because it was too good to refuse. We lost Majeski at last to Górnik Zabrze. We got rid of Zbigniew Jaskolski, the central defensive midfielder who came through at Śląsk. We got rid of him for £45,000. Oh no, for free, sorry. To Polonia Bytom, newly promoted. We also sold Miloš Klos to them. We sold, Abdul Razak on loan to Katowice, and sold Daniel Zbozinek to Teplice for £1.8 million poundionies. Hang on a second. Cool. Yeah, so we signed some good players last season now, and we sold them again because that's how the bloody game works. So in an attempt to fix things, I signed the youngster Elder Bello, who's very good. He's only 16 though, so he's probably a bit young to be playing in the first team. So he's in the under 18s at the moment. We've got a new goalkeeper, Mirza Husic, from, I'm not sure where he's from, but he's slightly better in a more goalkeepery way. He came to us from Metalac for 220,000, so slightly cheaper than we sold our other two goalkeepers for, which is nice. We then brought in Marek Balist, who is a Slovak striker. He's 21. He cost £2.5 million from Donava. He's doing okay. I'm hoping he's going to have a Chiravtsev style moment where he just sort of turns on and starts scoring all the goals. We then signed Yao Diaby, who is a very good centre-back and right-back from CS Mioveni, but he's not been doing very well for us. I think I might need to play him properly at centre-back. I kind of hoped he could be a right-back, but doesn't really look like it. And then we signed a few other players on frees. Zlatko Dimitrov, the secondary goalkeeping choice for us. At 18, he wasn't going to play very much this season, but I think he'll have the cup games to himself. The other guys, for example, so I'm not sure if any of these players are... Okay, so he's actually in the first team. Aurimas Breakstas, the Lithuanian, who I signed for free. He's been doing very well for us. Danny Castro, I signed him on a free. He's a left midfielder from Ecuador. He's doing very well, although could be better. He does get a little injuries. And Robert Murdyke, who is in the under-18s as well. He's a young Dutch player who I expect will probably not play very much and just end up being sold, because that's pretty much how things fucking work for us at the moment. And Fernandinho, who came to us, I think we signed him this year or maybe that year, but anyway, he's not as good as he was when I picked him up originally, but unfortunately that's just the way it is. So now, other interesting things to see. Well, this season has gone interestingly. So we played Ludogorets from Belgium in the Champions League qualifiers. We drew 0-0. We then lost to Polonia Warszawa in the Super Cup final. What was it called? The Super Polski Puchar or something like that. Bugger it up the bumhole. The Super Puchar Polski. Yeah, so we lost that 1-0 and don't really care about it, but it was frustrating. We were better. We then beat Ludogorets 1-0 at home to progress to the next round of the Champions League qualifiers, where we played the Armenian side Ararat Yerevan. We smashed them 3-0 at their place. We then went on to smash Wisła Kraków 3-1 at their place in the opener of the Ekstraklasa, which boded well, I thought. We then beat Ararat 2 more nils in the Champions League qualifier, meaning we went through to the playoff. Between then and the playoff, we beat Górnik Zabrze 1-0 and Polonia Bytom 5-0 with 4 goals from Mancia. We then played Olympiakos because we drew them. Away we drew 1-1, which was very annoying. Was it that game? No, yeah. So in one of these games, okay, yeah. So we drew 1-1. We then played Arka Gdynia and won 4-2. We then played Olympiakos in the playoff round and won 3-0, meaning we again qualified for the Champions League. In a group with Bayern Munich, Inter Milan, and the game of today, who are they called? Oh, Hapoel Tel Aviv, basically. So yeah, we beat... Well, don't do that. Yeah, then we drew 0-0 with Piast in our first frustrating result of the season, although they are quite good this season. I don't know if you noticed from the table, but they are third. We then beat Jagiellonia 2-1 before drawing insanely 1-1 away with FC Bayern München. Ouattara scored a penalty in the second half to give us a 1-1 draw, at which point I was getting slightly excited. We then followed that with a 1-0 loss away to Bartosz Żuks. Łódź, again, as soon as they're back in the league, they are proving to be a thorn in our side. We followed that up with a 6-1 win over Radionkov from the first division in the FA Cup second round. Grzegorz Lewandowski, our youth prospect from Lechia, who we signed a couple of years ago, getting his first goal for the club. Where were we? We then beat Polonia Warszawa 3-1 despite being 1-0 down until I think the 70th minute. It was a nice little turnaround. And then we followed that up with your casual 7-0 defeat at home against Inter Milan, leaving us in a shocking position in the group. We then, I'll show you the group in a moment. We then beat Bełchatów 3-0. Cracovia we drew 1-1 with, which was a very frustrating result. If you remember when we were listening to the radio show, Josh and Sam, that's the result I was talking about. And I also played the Lechia Gdansk game where we were 4-0 up after 50 minutes and ended up winning 4-2. And now we are about to play Hapoel Tel Aviv. The frustrating thing I was going to tell you about from the Bayern game was that our good friend Mancia got injured. So all these games and some of that dodgy form league-wise, a loss and a draw, were played without Mansia. He's now fit again and may be able to join us in this game against Tel Aviv. The good thing is Tel Aviv seem to be utterly dreadful. It's hard to tell because they got beat 5-2 off Bayern and we drew 1-1 with them. That doesn't really mean anything though. So the thing is, basically we need to beat Tel Aviv twice with any chance of staying in Europe after Christmas. So that's what we're going to do, and then we're going to follow that up with the game against Lech Poznan, which could be massive in terms of this season. Yes, I know. Let me choose the team. Thank you. Right, so the team, there's lots of players who are injured, ineligible, etc. Luchak is going to have to replace our normal central midfielder Sikorsky because he got injured in the last game, because of course he did. Mrozek for some reason is unable to play. He's suspended. Christofferson is going to have to step in then in that case. We need Cernic to get a place on the bench, and we need Balis also to do the same. So now we are not going to start with Lewandowski up front. That would be hubris of the greatest level, but we will keep him on the bench because he's a decent little player. I'm going to keep the team as that. I think Balis, Cernic. We might need a defensive substitute. Let's play Cernic instead of Castro because he's a bit tired. Take Castro off and we'll play Diaby and we'll put him on in the defence if we need to. Let's see what we can do. Now we should, if all things go well, batter them. But who knows, because they've managed to get here and they were actually seeded above us. We were seeded bottom for this group. So, statistics suggest that Tel Aviv are actually better than us. Whether or not that's the case, or it might just be because of coefficients in Israel, meaning that they are doing better than us generally, that might be the reason why. They might have just qualified more easily for that position. But let's see. Let's see what we can do. Now, I think the key for us next season... Oh, Novikov. Can we start early? No. The key for us next season is to sign a couple of solid centre-backs, and we still need a good right-back and left-back. The left-back might be okay because it's Breikstas. He's very good. And he's only 19, he's still improving, and we still have Adrian Gora as well, who plays well. So maybe left-back's not such a big problem, and right-back shouldn't really be a problem. Mrozek is excellent, as is Christofferson. But really we need a couple of very good centre-back prospects. The 16-year-old Portuguese, he looks like he is going to develop into one, but I think I need to buy one because we haven't actually bought a centre-back who's then gone on and played any actual games for us for 2 or 3 seasons now, and I think that showed as our defensive stats have declined. Still not hugely pleased with the goalkeeping situation. The 2 goalkeepers we've got in are good, but yeah, I think the problems are probably more likely to be coming from the centre back position because we have like our or at least our secondary, our backup defensive players are not good enough. So like I substituted off Georgian Yuri in the last game to give him some break before we played Tel Aviv, and the guy I brought on was the Almazora, the Colombian centre back. And he came on. He's actually technically good. He's improved a lot whilst he was away on loan last season, and he came on, but he just plays poorly. So he came on and conceded twice, both through his position. So it's a bit of a you snodge fuck. Yeah, it's a good word. Yeah, so I don't know. This season's been a bit. Good finish from Georgian Yuri there. Christofferson, beautiful little cross. That all seemed to go in a bit slow motion. I don't know if you agree. But we're 1-0 up in the Champions League, meaning that, and it looks like Bayern and Inter are drawing. Great header there. We actually had decent chance against Inter. I think they scored when they beat us 7-0. I think they had 8 shots on target and they scored with 7 of them, which makes it seem a lot worse because usually that doesn't happen, as Sam will readily attest. Just because you've had shots doesn't mean that they're all going to go in. So it's unlikely. I do fear for the fact that we still have to actually go away to Inter to play them. But maybe we'll be okay. Maybe we won't get absolutely battered again. I hope not, because it doesn't do us great in terms of morale. Even though we then went on to win our next league game, it did clearly damage the morale of the team a bit. Florent Andre, you know, and that's another position actually. Right wing wouldn't be a bad place to get a really good quality player in, but I think the two centre halves really need to be improved, or at least the cut. No, we need to go. What I would really ideally like is to go upgrade for the two centre backs and have Davidovs and Georgian Yuri as the or maybe even just one of them. Ballas scores. Excellent work. That's 2-0. That's comfortable now. We're getting comfortable. What was I going to say? Yeah, so actually what I'd like is to sell, have the young Portuguese guy as our kind of third choice centre-back or fourth choice centre-back, have Georgian Yuri as the rotation option, and probably sell Davidovs next summer, because Davidovs is not as good and he's getting to about 24 now. Unlikely to improve much more. We need to really start sort of trying to push on into players who will be bought after one season territory in all of our positions, because whilst it's very unfortunate that players like Sasha, who came in January and then was sold in piss off, sold in January, bought in January, sold in the summer, it gives us enough money to keep doing that, whereas the players at the quality of Davidovs, Georgian Yuri, we could possibly sell for a couple of million, but like Davidovs is just not good enough. He's sort of, people will maximum negotiate to around 700,000, 800,000 pounds, which is not the level of player we want anymore. That would have been good 2 or 3 years ago, but now we are looking to make big money for more big players. Luchak. Okay. Ballas. Novikov, was that Andre? Novikov scores. Excellent work. We are 3-1 up and coasting to victory now. Inter are 2-0 up against Bayern, which actually means that we're ahead of Bayern. How? Oh, because of the fact that we drew with them away. I guess it's probably on head-to-head. It must be. Yeah, it must be. Right, Christopherson has been injured, so we shall replace him with Diaby. I'm going to give Lewandowski... No, I'm not. I actually want to bring on Matthias Mancia and give him some game time to try and get him back to a bit of fitness, and we'll allow that to be that for a while, and then maybe we'll bring on Lewandowski for Ballas in the last few minutes. Get the lad some big game experience. Sasa to Sevilla. Novikov has tackled. Cernic now just lifts the ball up the line to Ballas. Ballas now. Can he cross the ball? No, but Cernic can to Ouattara, whose name I say differently every single time I read it out. Brick Cass gives it to Christopherson to Luchak, and that's the end of that. Highlight. Thank you very much, Football Manager. What a waste of everybody's time. Okay. Mancia again went for the... Oh, good effort from Davidovs. The classic centre-back 30-yard volley. Treves. Georgian Yuri again, dominant in the air. Ballas, what's he doing? Breakstas. Ballas goes past his man, but just shoots straight into the arms of Treves. Unfortunate. Where are we now? Mancia up to Andre, gives it the ball in, but Cernic's effort is saved by Treves. Unlucky. Cernic is tired. We have a man ready to take his place though, because we have the guy, the Ecuadorian to play. I don't even remember their names anymore, because they get the bloody squad rotates so fast, and it's not like rotation. It's just the turnover of the players is insane. It makes it very hard to follow along with who actually is our players. It's just Mancia and Davidovs I remember, and Georgian Yuri, but I think every other player has been sold or not very long after we bought them, except for Ouattara. Davidovs to Georgian Yuri, but they miss. 3-1, not a bad result. Oh, Bayern have equalised, not bad. So it's 2-2 now there. Davidov's great ball cleared. Mancia tries to go for it, doesn't get it. Abbas, Paolo, Michele. Did we bring on Lewandowski yet? Yes, we did. Khatib. Okie dokie. Mancia to Diaby, who smashes the ball over the bar. Mancia crosses the back post. Davidov's great save from Treves again. One thing we could do is replace Davidov's with Diaby and see. It's offside. And see if that might improve our defensive play, because Diaby is definitely much more of a centre back. His stats lend themselves more to a central player rather than to a right-sided player. So maybe we could try that, see how that goes for the team, because that might be. Yeah, I have a feeling that Davidov, despite being a generally, oh, you fucking idiot. Yeah, good one. What's the point? 2 minutes towards the end, hacking a bloke down the centre of the pitch. What's the point? Stupid. Oh well, the only game he'll miss is the away game to Tel Aviv, which judging by this display, we should be okay without him. We can play Goose or Savic, Britkauskas, no, Britstas. I can't. Breakstas is not a name that we can keep. Lewandowski, he's been tackled. It's a throw-in, as they often are. We need to get him a new name, that left back, because it's just appalling. And we've won a 3-1 win, not bad at all. That's our first group stage victory ever in the Champions League, or at least under me. Although I struggle to believe that Slask have ever even been in the Champions League group stages before. Inter and Bayern drew, not bad. Okay. Yeah, we got some money for winning that as well. Nice. Issue a warning. You shouldn't be doing that, you stupid boy. Who are you looking at? Some of the players from the Israeli team. We were excellent and thoroughly deserved this. It's always a worry. No, I had confidence we would see it out as soon as he'd be back inside. Give him a break as well, actually. He's played quite a lot. So actually, if we just look there at Tel Aviv's form, that means that they didn't have to play a qualifier, so they qualified directly into the Champions League. So that's just, they're only there because Israel is a better league than the Polish league. I also noticed, slightly sort of frustratingly and sort of I don't know, definitely embarrassingly, Poland are now 90th in the world in this game. I don't know what the hell happened, but they are 90th in the world. Right. Georgian Yuri due to poor form. Well, that's wrong. Well, he just literally just scored from a corner from him, but we can have both. We can have both. Although yeah, Tarnowski shouldn't be on them. Okay, so now we really need to win this Lech game. This is the big one. I don't know how they are on such an absolute tear of form, but I'm hoping that home advantage plus the fact that we're better than them will play their part. Man United beat Rangers 6-0. Good. I'd actually like to see, before we go on to the Lech game, I'm going to quickly go to see the English League and see where Western are and how they're getting on at the moment. So let's go by going like this. Chelsea and Premier Division. Their manager is called Mong. Oh my goodness, they are still... Okay, so if they win their game in hand, they could be second, or third, sorry, but still, it's not good. Everton again struggling. Liverpool in 10th. Classic football manager. I don't know. I think Western might have. They've used up the rest of the squad. They sold the great goalkeeper, that French goalkeeper that I signed. The French, I think he was French Moroccan or French Algerian goalkeeper that I signed, and they sold him now on to Chelsea. So Western have basically dismantled my team, and as soon as they've started doing that, that means they have now lost their spot in the top 4. teams playing with freedom created by confidence. We are going to try and win. Okay, so Wisła are doing dreadfully again. I'd love for Górnik Zabrze to start playing some of that form that they had a couple of seasons ago, where they beat us in the cup and give a knocking down to our friends in Polonia. But the real game of the weekend is the Friday night kickoff against Lech Poznan in Wrocław. It would be an interesting event to go and watch. Luciano Padula, decent. What the heck is going on? Our stadium is being increased again. I don't know if I mentioned that, but yeah, we're currently increasing the stadium by, so it should be done next in a month and a half, I guess. Let's just look. See, our transfer budget is nearly £7 million. How do I look at it? It's information, facilities. Yeah, it's currently, so we're adding 7,000 seats. So we're going to be at nearly 19,000 when that comes up, which is good. We're getting there. And I don't know if you also noticed, but I asked them to improve the youth facilities because we get a couple of decent players through, but not as many as I'd like. And it turns out we only have actually got average facilities. So fingers crossed this will help us a bit. Now, where's my friend? There is Danny Castro. That's the guy. Watara's tired-ish. Mrozek is going to jump in. I'm going to do my Diaby's. Oh no, he's actually more tired, so I'm not going to do it this time around. But next game that we play, I'll do that change because I think it's against Podbiscuit. Yeah. And I'm going to bring in Cernic for Lewandowski because it's unlikely that he's going to get into the team in this game. And we can leave. Oh, we need to rename this guy. What's his actual name? Aurimas. Great. What does that even sound like? He likes me, which is good. He's from Kaunas. He likes Kaunas. He speaks Latvian. We need to give him a nickname. Lithuanian. No, is that too long? No, it's not. Lithuanian. Break. Okay, we're going to call him Breaky. And we're going to call him Achy Breaky. So stupid. Yep, so that's the team. Achy Breaky at left back. Did I leave him in? No, I did. Bugger it. Okay, I meant to change him for Gura, but whatever. Davidos only needs to get 2 more goals to get 2 more goals for to be at 25 goals for Slask, which is quite impressive for a centre back. Although he did get 10 last year, so I don't know, or 9. Anyway, look, this is the main one. We need to go out there and give Lech Poznan a splattering against the windshield of the Ekstraklasa. Now let's try and do that with. That could have been bad. Good tackle from Castro. Might change his name to Crack Castrol because that sounds funnier. Right, Husic. Achy Breaky, Castro. Although Castro does sound like the obviously the oh, Mancia, the movement of Mancia, and he scored. The movement of Mancia is so much better than any of the other players. He's got so much better off the ball ability, and yes, that's what we needed. Yes, please. 1-0 up against Lech Poznan. Hopefully, if we beat them, if we can beat them and put them to the sword a bit, and it's an big one because they've only conceded 7 goals all season. But if we can put a couple past them, really damage their confidence, and then send them into the next game against some other muggy side who can also sort of maybe nick a point off them or something, and then we can take back top spot before the Christmas break, that would be beautiful. Because actually, I just remembering last season we only took control of top spot around about early December, it was because we had started so poorly. We had a very dodgy start. This season we didn't start poorly, it's just Poznan have started sensationally well. Still interested in this guy, although he is worth, like they keep, like if I scout him, he would take me about £3 million to sign him, and I'm not sure. I'll have to double check him again and maybe do another scout just to see if he's actually worth that, because it would be silly to sign him if he's not actually worth that much money. Oh, is it the post? But Alice, it's the post. Yeah, so I'm not going to splash out the money just because I have it now that we have the money in our account. As I mentioned, our insanely high transfer budget. But but actually, if he would add something to the team, let's not say never. And also, it would really batter Lech if we took their best player. But it would give. Oh, that's a foul. Andre, unlucky. For a winger, Florian Andre scores quite a lot of headers. I'm not sure why that is, because I don't think he's sensational in the air. I just think the way we play seems to suit his head. The other guy, what was his name? The Shmatko, Vadim Shmatko, the Belarusian right winger, also scored a number of headers, including one memorable header from about here. It like bulleted into the top corner. It was beautiful. Andre to Ballas. Ballas has gone past one, just into the side netting. This is classic Slask. We do a lot of this. Not being clinical enough. Okay, apparently that was a rubbish first half. I thought it was quite enjoyable. We had quite a few chances. Calm. We're doing well. Keep it up. Calm. There's a lot more to come from you. We're looking motivated, but we don't want to. So I'm going to keep it with the calm because I don't want them to go in and get anyone booked or anything. Who's playing 6.2? Andre. Okay, well he scored. I know it wasn't. It didn't count, but can't be too mean to the fella. Kwiatkowski, Stenka, Mrozek tackles beautifully. Mrozek's been a signing, a very good one. Ouattara, Castro, Luchak, Castro. What's he doing there then? That guy's name is Volkan, which is great. Who was it that had that ridiculously funny net? The name that made me really laugh. Does anyone remember? Oh, Castro's injured. And Geddes is going to score? Fuck off. What was his name? I don't remember. Good. Well, straight after half time as well. That's the perfect time for them to score. Perfect. How is Castro? He looks like he sort of sprinted off the pitch. He's probably okay. No, he's not. Okay, that's good that I put you on the bench then, isn't it? In you get, son. In you get. Son. Oh, they are just all over us now. Come on. Andre's doing badly as well. Might have to bring him off. Not Kiedesh. Fuck off. For God's sake. Big changes, big boy changes for a big boy game. I hit my chair and it hurts me a little bit now. Mrozek to Souza. Man, they're playing good, these boys. They were fucking dreadful for the first half. And we were... Let's see you now. To ball... I keep reading his name as Balls. His name is not Balls. Go on, header. Fucking useless. How do you head it that tamely? Sort of like caress the ball with your head. You fucking idiot. Cernic goes away from the. Oh, it's a great save from Andrzej Rice. Mancia crosses. Davidos. No, Mrozek gets the ball, but he gets tackled by Adamski. Achy breaky. Good ball up there. Oh, fucking hell! I hate this fucking football game. We need to at least draw this game. Mrozek. Souza. Mrozek. Goose is not going to score from there. Mrozek. Souza. I mean, one of you. And when I mean one of you, I mean do it good. I don't just mean kick it. Cernic. Achy breaky. Luchak. Achy breaky is going to keep me giggling for a while. Mancia. Nope. Luchak. Nope. And we've got a free kick, but Mancia is going to... I need to change that he's not doing that. Okay. Great. What on earth was that? Another one straight off the training ground. Mrozek, Souza. Mrozek, Souza. Souza to Mrozek. Out to Achy Breaky. Out to Mrozek, but he just doesn't know how to cross it. They wanted a penalty? Yeah. We seem to be very unlucky with referees giving us penalties, by the way. We got the one against Bayern, but we very rarely get more. Okay, Mancia now, for some reason, that must be a penalty, but Goose has given it instead. Race up to Davidovs. Mancia headed the ball on to nobody. Good. Glad he did that. Rice. Georgian Yuri heads it back. No, it was Gedish that won it. I think I might have to buy Gedish. He scored twice against us. I'm basically setting us up to become the Bayern Munich of the Polish league. Oh, yes! Come on, Balis! What a finish! Marek Balis, what a beautiful finish. Unnecessary that we needed to even be in this position, but what a finish. And if we look at the match stats, oh yeah, obviously we're doing better than them, except for in terms of shots on target, but shut up, we didn't see that stat. Shut your mouth, you dirty liars. We just going to equalise and then everyone leaves it, calls it a day. Right, Mancia. Do something. Mrozek. Souza. Balis scores! Come on! Fucking yes! Come on! There was a hint of an offside, but I don't care. You waved away a penalty for us. We've gone 1-0 up, 2-1 down, 3-2 up. Come on, Slask. That is the mark of the 3-time champions of Poland. Come on, boys. This is exactly... Oh, go on, get us a fourth. Get us a fourth, mate. Really just ruin their confidence. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, this has a very similar feel to the Polonia Warszawa game we played right at the beginning of the season, where they went 1-0 up and then in the last sort of 20 minutes we absolutely dominated them and scored 3. All of them, I think, from basically stealing the ball from their players on the halfway line. Oh, Kwiatkowski, did he play for us at one point? I'm not sure. Achy Breaky clears the ball for a throw-in. Madeira hits the ball over the crossbar. Oh, look, they're rushing to give us the ball back. We didn't need to kick that early. Mrozek. Gedish went ambitiously when his player was goal side of Davidov's there with or Georgian Yuri with when he was definitely onside. Could have given it. Mancia now. Hold the ball up. We'll get a corner. Even better, boy. Oh, even better. On the Georgian Yuri's head, no mate. No, Cernic. Just don't know what you're doing there. A lot of reorganisation going on. We're just sort of playing in that clump of the ground there. Mrozek again. Souza crosses. Oh, we didn't get there, but Mrozek to Luchak. A tame effort. That's what that was. Volkan Kavlak. Tarasiewicz, but great tackle from Luchak. Back all the way from Georgian Yuri. Husic. Hoofs it. He's outside the box. I mean, the ball is outside the box. Marek Balis scores 2 absolutely crucial goals, and we have won that game 3-2. What a roller coaster! Jesus. Yes, please. And Wisła drew, which is nice. Oh man. God, what a game that was. Right then, boys. So, let's look at the fixtures, because I think we'll have the next game against Hapoel soon, yeah. So what we'll probably do is we'll play Tel Aviv and then Vidjev in our next video. No one cares really about the FA Cup, although, I mean, it would be nice to win it all the time, forever, but I don't care about it that much. And yeah, we'll probably give Lewandowski a start there, but I'll be back when we play Tel Aviv again. See you later, guys. Bye.